Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of One Piece. Last time on the show, we have met a mysterious guy named Gaimon in a treasure chest, and then moved on to the next location where we met Usopp and his million lies. Very different from the live action. It's very crazy because yeah, the differences are very stark. Because in the manga here, he just does it for the fun, but in the live action, he's very serious about it. Very interesting approach. So we got introduced to a whole team in as opposed to just three characters in the live action. Here, this guy had guards and such. Our main protagonista in the whole thing, Clarador. So, oh man, we're gonna see exactly how this is gonna turn out. Um, so, let's not hesitate. I'm kind of hesitating. I'm hesitating, aren't I? Well, let's stop hesitating and let's get started. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 25, Lies. Out in the courtyard of Kaya's mansion, Claudius was sat on the ground, fixing his glasses with the palm of his hand. There Usopp stood before him, angry, huffing and puffing, as everyone watched on, very quietly, very silently. A little child says, "Captain?" And Claudius spoke. A pirate. A brave warrior of the sea, he said, fixing his glasses up even more. That's a deceitful way to twist the truth. Nonetheless, your behavior is indisputable, proof of your ruffian heritage. Usopp was in shock. He had three dots upon his face. Dot, dot, dot. Lie all you want, but faced with difficulty, your first recourse is violence. Claudor stood up to his feet. He brushed the dust off of his pants, and he continued, "And I know you are only kind to Miss Kaya because you're after her." "What?" Usopp said, taking a step back in shock. "I'm onto your scheme, you scallywag," Kalahador yelled out. "You're trash, like your father, your pirate father." And Usopp went into full anger mode. His brows furrowed downward. He jumped over, grabbed Claudor by the scuff of his neck, and pulled his fist back. "That's enough!" To which Kaya screamed out, "Oh, okay, I gave her a basic one. Stop, Usopp! Please, no more violence!" And the fist shook. His fist shook in the air, frozen in place. He looked back at Kaya with total anger, and there she was with her face covered in tears. "Glahador's not a bad person. He takes care of me. He only wants what's best for me." Usopp, showing so much restraint as everyone looked in her direction. "He just went too far." And suddenly, Claudor slapped Usopp's hand off of his shirt. "Leave the grounds," he said. "This place is no place for a ruffian like you. Never come here this estate again." Kaya watched on in tears. Usopp, with anger in his face, he said, "Fine, have it your way. I'm leaving, and I'm never coming back." "Captain!" the children yelled out as Usopp walked toward the gate, exiting the whole entire place. Kaya placed her hand over her chest, saddened, and said, "Usopp." And the children yelled out, "Stumpy Spelly Butler, that captain's a great guy, full thumb out. Knucklehead, dude." And and my guy's Luffy. And Zolo punched Luffy in the back of the head. "You too, Luffy." And suddenly, Nami began dragging the children away. Luffy got dragged away by Zolo. Yeah! Come on and fight, dude. Easy, Luffy. We have to get out of here. Get off this property at once! Claudor screamed one more time in total anger of everyone's presence. Meanwhile, later that day, Kaya continued crying and sobbing into her pillow while coughing at the same time. Struggling to maintain her breathing, there was a knock on the door. And the door is open, and Claudor carted in a cart containing food. As he approached her, he spoke. Time for your lunch, Miss Kaya. I don't want it, she said, looking away from him while hugging the pillow. I'm not hungry. It's not going to taste good. You'll upset the cook if you say such things, Claudor said as he entered in. He works hard to create healthful, healing foods for you, Miss Kaya. She was silent on his comment. She then lifted her head up and looked in his direction as he began to prepare the plate. Must you make me feel guilty? Huh? I feel bad enough going behind your back. I talked to Usopp against your wishes, but you didn't have to drive him away like a dog. Claudor looked back, silent from her comment. He had no retort. He then approached her bed with his hand outreached, and he asked, May I sit? Yes, she said, and he sat down. He leaned forward, and he spoke. 3 years ago, I came to this estate. I'll never forget that day. He fixed his glasses as his flashback began. Before that, I had worked aboard a ship. I made one small mistake and they marooned me here. I was forsaken and alone. Finally, I wandered into this village. Milo Style 68 says, I heard the story is good, but I hope there's no boats in it. I'm afraid of boats, and if I see them, I could die of fright. Welcome to the show, Milo Style. Over on the kick side. Welcome to the show. Let's see here. He remembered, Claudor remembered being on his knees at the foot of on the road at the foot of the village. I was penniless, homeless, helpless. I would surely have ended up dead in the ditch, probably being picked on by vultures. Then your father took pity on me. I owe my life to your late parents. They were not early. And you, Kaya, you are the daughter of my benefactors. I realize I went too far. He leaned further down in shame. I have no right to interfere with your choice of friends. But that is he has a very bad reputation. However, he tried to whitewash it. Claudor raised his hand up, and he planted it on his brow. If he should ever lay on you, I'll have held you and your father. Kaya was silent from his remark, but just now, I know I went too far. Oh, I don't doubt that you hate me. Please don't hate me. Oh, don't doubt me. I don't hate you, Kaya said. She lowered her pillow and let out a light smile. I'm grateful to you, but it was still wrong. Usopp is a very good person. Claudor immediately got up onto his feet, fixed his glasses with the palm of his hand. Indeed. Claudor, you just don't understand. You're right. I don't understand. Meanwhile, at another part of the village, everyone sat on the side of the road, leaning against the fence. Nami sitting on the top, and wondering the absence of Luffy. I wonder what Luffy went. Who knows? Zolo said. Maybe he went after the captain. Hey, we know where the captain went. Yeah, to the beach. Whenever something happens, that's where he goes. Wanna see? The kids looked over at Zolo, saying at the same time. No thanks, Zolo said with his arms crossed. He got up onto his feet and planted his arms onto his head. Alright, Onion missing someone. Yeah, Onion. Oh, wait, that's the kid saying that? Yeah, Onion. He always disappears, yeah. And then he comes running back screaming, "Oh, it's horrible, backwards man." Onion said, running down the road, screaming out loud. One of the children looked in the direction. It's Onion. And then Onion running as fast as he can with his mouth wide open as if a fly could enter into it. It's horrible, wow, a backwards man. There's a strange man headed this way walking backwards. Liar, liar, it's true, look. Onion turned the direction he ran down the road with his finger pointing outward. Nami and Zolo looked in that direction. Okay. And along the road was a Michael Jackson looking man moonwalking his way backwards. Why isn't this guy in the live action? Oh my gosh, this is too easy, low hanging fruit, man. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna take the low hanging fruit here. Hey. Wait. Come on, Blanket. Hey, who just called me strange? I'm not strange. Django, the hypnotist, moonwalking his way towards the crowd as he slides on by. Ah, you're a little strange, Nami said. Don't be silly. I'm not your typical traveling hypnotist. That's ignorant. Oh, wow, a hypnotist? Show us a trick. Yeah, show us. What? Oh, no. Don't. Come on, Blanket. Yeah. Don't be silly. I don't even know you. Yee-hee. Why should I perform for someone I've only met? Jamu. Oh, well, look at the ring. Then, you are going to perform, Zolo said with a sweat drop hanging off the back of his head, watching on. Yeah, when I say 1, 2, Django, you'll fall asleep all together. Ready? 1, 2, Jaman, Django. Now that's strange. Zolo said as he watched all the children collapse onto the ground and fell asleep by Django's pendulum watch. At the beach, waves crashed against the surf, bashing into the into the rocks. Usopp sat cross-legged right under a tree, staring out at the ocean. Suddenly, Luffy popped up from above the tree, upside down, and goes, "Hey, dude, here you are." And Usopp's eyes immediately stretched out. So did his nose and lips in shock. "Gasp!" he said. And there was Luffy hanging by the tip of his feet, arms straightened, and hat still in place. "Don't sneak up on me like that," Usopp said. And Luffy released himself, landing on his hands. "What's up, dude? He's your father, right?" Luffy said upside down. Oh. Luffy sat down and leaned himself on the tree next to Usopp with a big smile on his face. "How do you know my father's name?" Usopp said. "Dude, I met him when I was a kid. He was really awesome." "What? Really? You're not lying, are you? You met my father?" "Yeah, dude. And you look just like him, too. I thought you looked familiar when I saw you. That's awesome." "Oh." "And I just figured out why." "Do you know where my father is?" Usopp said with a big smile on his face. "Nope. But I'm sure he's still with Captain Red-Haired Shanks," Luffy said with a big wide smile. "Yasab is a crewman on my favorite pirate ship, dude." "Oh, really?" Usopp was elated with joy. "So he's with Captain Shanks. Red-Haired Shanks, eh?" Dude. Here's where Shanks! Usopp immediately leaned into Luffy with shark teeth exposed and his eyes bulging out. Luffy's eyes bulged out in return. Yeah, dude, you've heard of Shanks? Of course I have. He's a great pirate. My father's with a famous pirate crew. That's awesome. Speaking of great, dude, Luffy said with rubbing his chin. I recall Yasop was a great shot too. I never saw him miss once. Luffy had a flashback. An object exploded on a table. Luffy watched on in surprise. Wow, you're amazing. Yasop. Actually, like father, like son. Oh, that's nothing. Oh, that's nothing. I could shoot the whiskers off an ant at 50 paces. Yasop said with his hand to his hip, a smile on his face, and the gun to his hand. At the bar, at the tavern, he drank his alcohol, slammed the glass onto the table, and pat Luffy's head. You know, son, Luffy, I got a son. He be just about your age. He probably not doing his chores either. Not again. You've told me this 1,000 times, and you're gonna hear about him 1,000 more times. Yasop slammed the bottle open side into Luffy's head. Yeah. It's a hard thing to be parted from my son. Yasop put his foot on the table and stretched his arms out into the air. But I had no choice. That pirate flag kept calling me, and the whole crowd cheered. Yeah. In the present, Luffy smiled even bigger. Yasop was a great pirate, dude. Oh, a great pirate. I'm so happy. I don't have a deadbeat dad. He said he was just going to get cigarettes. But all he did was really just ride with the Shanks. Usopp stood up, looked out into the ocean. Yes, sir. He sailed off into the boundless sea. My father's out there risking life and limb, and I am so proud of him. That butler said some obnoxious things about him, saying that he was a criminal and all kinds of stuff, and a deadbeat dad. Well, he kinda is, dude. Well, he'll ruin my father's good name. Yeah, dude, I don't like that either, though. So, you never going back to Kaya's? I don't know, Usopp said, landing back onto his butt and and let out a sigh. If that butler begs me to come back, then maybe I'll go see her. You mean that butler over there, dude? Luffy pointed out down the hill. Yeah, that butler. Hey! What's that butler doing here? And they looked out as they watched the butler speak with Django. Klahadore, they quickly leaned over, trying to stay out of sight as they watched on. And they listened to the conversation. Django, I instructed you to keep a low profile. What were you doing sleeping in the middle of the village? Oh, don't be silly. I'm not standing out. I'm not strange of all. Jumbo! There's someone with him. A weird guy. He looks like Michael Jackson. I've never seen him before. But if it's Michael Jackson, I want his autograph. Have you prepared everything necessary to carry out the plan? Klahadore said, fixing his glasses again with the palm of his hand. Of course I have. Operation Murder Miss Kaya is ready to go anytime. Jumbo! Murder Miss Kaya, murder Miss Kaya, they said together, which was very difficult for me to do. To be continued. One Piece, Chapter 25, by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece, by Eiichiro Oda. Chapter 26, Captain Kuro's Plan. At the bottom of the cliff, at the edge of the ocean, Django and Klahadore continue on with their plot as Luffy and Usopp listened on from atop the cliff, remaining hidden. Django, don't say murder. It sounds so sinister. Oh yeah, Let's climb the tree. Sorry, I gotta keep doing that to make sure I got the right one. Oh yeah, incident. Jamon, it's going to be an accident, right? Get back. Captain Kuro. Be quiet, fool. Captain Kuro said. I discarded that name 3 years ago. Don't ever call me that. You're the captain now. Luffy and Usopp were silent for a moment, comprehending what they just said. Luffy then looked at Usopp with his finger pointing down. Hey, dude, what are they talking about? That's what I'd like to know. Wait a minute. I've heard of Captain Kudo before. He was famous for his carefully planned pillaging raids. Usopp recalled Captain Kudo with the large cape and skull and crossbones. But rumor was that 3 years ago he got caught by the Navy and executed. To tell you the truth, I wasn't too sure about this plan, Django said, and began dancing in front of Clarador. Oh no, it was crazy. Shaman! All of a sudden, you quit partying, and I started climbing the trees. Shaman! You taught us all to work without you. But we helped spread the rumor that you've been executed. You came to this village, and now we're back 3 years later, just like you ordered. Low hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit. Oh man, this Django is awesome. Now I understand why he's not in it. I understand why he's not in the live action. I get it now. Oh yeah. Ooh. You never steered us wrong before, Shaman. That's why I've obeyed your orders, Django. But my shit, the spoilers had better be worth it. Django sat down on the rock with his leg over his leg. Claudor had his hands in his pocket, and he listened on, and he spoke. It appears you still don't fully grasp my plan. Don't be silly. I understand it perfectly. We climbed the trees, right? No. We wait for your signal. Then we attack the village. We kill. Ooh. We accident the girl to death, and you inherit her fortune. Ooh. Fool, use your brain. Claudor looked away, fixing his glasses again. How am I going to inherit her fortune? You just have to serve her. Listen, idiot. This is the crucial part of the plan. Claudor turned right around and leaned into Django, finger pointed at him. Before you kill her, you hypnotize her, and you make her write a will that says she leaves her entire fortune to her faithful blooded Claudor. Usopp overheard, and he was in shock. That's how, Claudor said, placing his hand over his chest, I will inherit her vast fortune, very naturally. I spent the last 3 years earning the trust of everyone around her. No one would question it. If she left everything to me, I've earned it. So that's why you worked as a butler for 3 years, Chapman. Wouldn't it have been easier to just bust in and take it all I get? Point. That's crude, thinking of a pirate. You get the money, but you have to live like a fugitive. Claudor said with his arm outward. What good are riches if you always got the Navy chasing you? He put Claudor pointed his finger on his forehead. I've gone legitimate. I'm a pacifist now. I guess there's all kinds of pacifists. Ooh! And after you went and slaughtered the girl's whole family, Chapman? I've never slaughtered anyone. Kai's parents' deaths. Well, that wasn't part of my plan. Django immediately pointed at Claudor. Sure, whatever you say. You got them up on the tree, didn't you? Just hurry up and give us the signal already. Shaman, we've anchored offshore for a week now. Jungle, those cutthroats are ready to cut each other's throats by now. And Usopp and Usopp and Luffy continue to listen on in silence. Then Usopp realized, how horrible! I've realized really just heard something horrible. Luffy replied, what did they say? It sounded kinda mean, dude. Weren't you listening? Usopp looked back in anger. It's horrible. They're serious. He was after Kaya's family fortune this whole time. Usopp continued while watching the two down below continue their conversation. For 3 years he's been plotting to get it all. That butler's Captain Kuro. He's still alive. I picked the wrong guy to punch out. He's gonna kill me. They're going to attack the village and kill Kaya. Usopp realized the situation. This is horrible. Really horrible. And Luffy suddenly stood up to his feet. And Usopp watched on. Don't stand up. They'll see you. And Luffy yelled out, yo, you dudes, don't go killing Kaya. Everyone looked up at the top of the mountain. Who's that? Usopp. Poor Usopp. Usopp stretched his arm out with tears in his eyes. Captain Kuro looked up with pure anger. Django tried to get a good clear view by lifting his hat up. You idiot! Now they've seen us. We gotta run and hide or they'll murder us. Cloudor realized who it was up there. Well, if it isn't Usopp. Oh! Usopp immediately grabbed Luffy's arms in terror. Now they've seen me too. Hear anything? Cloudor said. Interesting. No, I just got here. Usopp waved it in denial. However, Luffy, dumb as he is, spoke. We heard everything, dude. You're not cool. Usopp's eyes bulged out even louder. And Cloudor fixed his glasses down below as Django fixed his head. So, but they heard us. Alright then. You guys, jump on. Look at this ring. You're gonna climb the tree. Dude, what's that mean? Oh no, it's a weapon. He's gonna kill us. Oh wow. When I say 1, 2, Django, you fall into a deep sleep. 1, 2, take over. He's gonna get us. Usopp immediately cowered down to the ground, covering his eyes. Luffy just stared outward. Django! And Luffy's head tilted over with a large snooze. And Django also fell over and fell asleep. Blasted, Django. I thought you had this perfected. Luffy slowly tilted over the edge and began to fall over. Usopp saw what happened, hurried to him with his arms outreached. What are you doing? You're gonna fall! And Luffy crashed onto the ground head first, his legs stuck up into the air. Usopp, I'm sorry, it's just something I thought of. A movie that I saw. It's not. No, guys. Usopp was in shock, and he screamed out, "Hey, you okay?" As Luffy's legs flopped over, and Cloudor and Django watched on. Didn't mean to kill him, jumping. He fell right on his head, Django. From the height, he died for sure. He can't be, Usopp said, gripping onto the edge of the cliff, his head, and planted his hand on his head. He killed him. Killed him. So what should we do with the other one, Django? Kill him too? That won't be necessary, Cloudor said. No one will believe anything that buffoon says. Usopp merely pulled his head back in shock at what Cloudor said. Django, tomorrow at dawn, attack the village, Cloudor said, fixing his glasses. Create a distraction, rough up some villagers, and kill Miss Kaya. Tomorrow? Usopp said in horror. It's as I said, Usopp. No one will believe you. No one can stop me. Curses! Curses! And Usopp ran. Whoa! Meanwhile, Luffy Luffy continued sleeping with his buttocks stuck in the air and his feet folded over his body. You sure it's okay, Chapman? Of course, my plan can't fail. And Usopp ran with all his power, with all his might, throughout the forest and back to the village. Pirates! Pirates! It's horrible! They'll all be killed! Everyone in the village I grew up in, they'll kill Kaya. Everyone I love in this village. They'll even kill a dog. They'll even chop the tree. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! And in his flashback, he remembered meeting Kaya for the first time. Who are you? I'm Usopp, brave warrior of the sea. He planted his hand on his hips. I heard you weren't feeling too well. I'm here to tell you some stories to cheer you up. Oh, Kaya replied in anger. It's none of your business. Please leave, or I'll have someone show you out. Usopp continued running, remembering that first encounter. I won't hurt you. I'm just a busybody, he said with a smile to Kaya. He hit the road and flew over and ran right past the whole entire crew. Whoa, what was that? Zolo said. Captain! The kids screamed out as everyone watched him running by into the village. I thought Luffy would be with him. He's still upset about what the butler said about his father, Nami said. Who knows? Zolo leaned onto the fence with his hand on his head. No, did you see his face? Something must have happened at the beach. He was pale as a sheet. Solo surmised. Hey, how do I get to the beach? I smell trouble. The hypnotist was headed that way too. My puberty. Yeah, it's time for Usopp's pirates to take action. Yeah, sure, but show me the way to the beach. It's horrible, Usopp said, running into the middle of the village. Everybody, listen up. Pirates are going to attack us. Tomorrow morning, pirates are going to attack this village. Head for the hills. That brat is lying again. That's twice today. I forget it. Just ignore his fool tales. The townsfolk said. Again? During lunch? Come on, let me eat here. He's really overdoing it lately. And the townspeople stepped out. That's enough, Usopp. That's enough for today. We're trying to get some work done. No, this time it's for real. Usopp raised his arms up, trying to convince everyone. That's what you always say. Maybe it's time to teach you a lesson. I'm always joking around. Yeah, it's true. But this time, it's for real. You have to believe me. Usopp screamed out as the crowd surrounded him. If you were serious and responsible like Mr. Cloudor, we'd believe you. To which Usopp remembered, it doesn't matter what you do. You can't interfere with my plan. Oh, blast it. You gotta believe me. We have to escape. Usopp yelled out, his mouth so wide a fly flew into it. Everyone's really gonna be killed. Meanwhile, at the ocean, just around the cove, a pirate ship of a skull cat and crossbones flapped in the wind. On the deck, Captain Kuro stood before the pirate crew. Django sitting on the whole thing. He addressed his crowd. Thank you, my sea wolves, for coming. It's been 3 long years. If this plan succeeds, you will all get more than your share. Tomorrow at dawn, we destroy the village. Hooray! 3 cheers for Captain Kuro. The entire crew, the entire pirate crew, cheered on with swords raised high and cat ears on their heads. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, Kaya opened the door and spoke with another butler. Have you seen Cloudor? No, did I get it? No. Anyway, he said he had business in town. I see. And Luffy continued sleeping at the beach with a loud snork. To be continued. One Piece, Chapter 26, by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece, by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 27. True Laws. You must have Arnold Schwarzenegger here. This comic was drawn by James Cameron. Miss Kaya, the butler said at Kaya's mansion as the clouds flowed by and the sky was nice and clear. I picked up the special order. Miss Kaya, I picked up the special order for you requested from the eyeglass shop in the next town. Is this satisfactory? Oh, perfect. Thank you, Mary. There we go, Mary. Yeah, I'll give him fake British voice. Everybody's gonna get fake British voice eventually. It's gonna be nothing but a fake British voice show. Kaya gave the OK signal. The OK signal. As she was handed the glasses. I'm sorry you had to go so far. It's my pleasure to serve you, Miss Kaya. It's a gift, isn't it? Clodo will be elated, Mary said with a big smile on his face. I hope so. Tomorrow will be exactly 3 years since Clodo first came to this estate. He's been such a great help, she said with a smile on her face, caressing the eyeglass case. Meanwhile, back at the village, Usopp is trying to convince the townspeople that he's not lying. Everyone, listen to me! The pirates are coming! The pirates are coming! Along with some redcoats. Tomorrow at dawn, they're going to attack. And the crowd charged at him like a crowd of rhinos, or a crowd of bulls. A crowd of bulls. If we believed you every time you cried, we'd be flying to the hills every day. But it's true this time. Handy, sorry, Usopp. Sorry about that. Wrong character. Wrong show. Usopp had his arms raised down in fear. And this time we're really gonna clobber you. Yay! Get him, he's fast. At the beach. Back at the beach. Solo slapped Luffy upside the head and woke him up. What? This guy is going to be killed. Really? Mr. Straw Hat Man? Pirates are really going to attack the village? Yeah, little dudes, Luffy said, sitting down cross-legged with his arms crossed over his chest. That's what they said. No doubt about it. It's going to be a bloodbath. Total epic. Solo said, kind of an odd place to take a nap, isn't it? It's strange, too. I thought I was on the top of the cliff. That was weird. Luffy continued tilting his head as the children spoke. So that butler really is a bad guy. I never did like him. And the hypnotist is on it, too. What with our voices? It's puberty. Ah, so that's what your captain was doing. That's what I hear was running for the village like his pants are on fire, Nami said. It'll be alright. The villagers have plenty of warning. They could just hide out in the hills. Pirates are generally pretty dumb. Nami pointed out. Hey, maybe we should go hide too. Yeah, and maybe you take all our valuables. Piggy bank, snacks, model ship, bread house. Hurry! And the children ran off to the hills. Oh no, dude. What's wrong? Zolo said, looking back at Luffy. I've got to go buy some meat before the butcher leaves town. It's still gonna be or else it'll be way too difficult for me to find a dog, dude. Back at the mansion, Usopp stood outside the gate, looking left and right. Huff, 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 huff. He climbed over, ran all the way to Kai's door, and banged on the door. He caught Kai's attention as she read a book. She walked over and opened the window with a big smile on her face. Usopp, I'm so glad to see you. I was afraid you'd never come back. You've got to get out of here, Kaya. Usopp said, planting his hand on the windowsill. Your life is in danger. What are you talking about? You've been tricked, Usopp said. Your butler's really a pirate. Huh? What? Kaya said, lifting her lifting her hands up and taking a step back. Glahador, a pirate? Is this a joke? It's no joke, Kaya. I've heard him with my own ears. He was at the beach going over the plan with his henchmen. He said he tricked his way into your service to get his hands on your fortune. He's a pirate captain. He's been posing as a butler for 3 years just to rob you. Kaya's face immediately slowly turned to disappointment. Usopp, what are you saying? His pirate crew is coming to attack tomorrow at dawn. It's gonna be a bloodbath. He said they're going to kill you. And wear your skin. You're not helping. He's a dastardly villain. You've got to get out of here fast. Please stop this. You disappoint me, Usopp. Kaya immediately slammed her hand on the windowsill and got him to stop and got him to be quiet. Huh? The guards outside were alerted. Hey, do you hear voices in the courtyard? Hey, it's their lawyer. He snuck onto the estate again. Kaya spoke. You actually used me to get back to Glahador like this? Oh? What he said about your father. Glahador admitted that he went too far. He should never have said those things. Wait, what are you talking about? But I won't listen to you tell lies about him. I never believed you would sink so low. Oh! Your stories were always filled with romantic, unbelievable things, but they were so much fun. I loved your lies. Kaya lowered her head even further. Why did you have to tell a lie like that? It's despicable, Usopp. Kaya, no! And Kaya's tears immediately poured out of her face. How could you? Kaya, wait! I'm not trying to get back at anyone. Miss Kaya, has she harmed you? The door slammed wide open. Oh, that's Mary. Miss Kaya, Miss Kaya, has he harmed you? Kaya looked back, turned back at Mary as he with the door slammed open, and Usopp alerted to his presence. Suddenly, his arms were grabbed by the other guards. Don't worry, we'll toss this right out. Stop! Let me go. I'm not done talking yet. Curse you! Let me go! Usopp immediately chomped on the guard's arm and wrestled his way into freedom. Arr! Kaya immediately covered her mouth, tears still flowing down her cheeks. One of the guards immediately pulled out his gun. Dirty brat! And Usopp pulled out his slingshot. He leaned back very hard, like the Matrix. Stop! The guard said, aiming his gun at Usopp. I'm not gonna let you stop me. Usopp pulled back the slingshot and let it rip. The stone hit the guard in the face and knocked him over. Animal! The other guard said, pulling out his gun, and Usopp immediately took another BB pellet and aimed it at him, pulling the whole string back. Usopp, please stop! Kaya yelled out, but it was too late. Usopp released the sling, and and it hit the guard, causing him to drop his gun. He fell over and landed on the ground. Usopp huffed and puffed. "You downed both guards," Mary screamed out. "Kaya, you've gotta believe me." He looked back over at Kaya. "You have to get out of the village before your butler comes back." Kaya planted her hands over her chest. She was in total fear. Her tears fell down. She took a step back. "What's wrong with you? You're acting so strangely." "There he is! There's Usopp. He snuck into the estate. Oh no, the villagers!" He looked back and saw the crowd ready to storm the gate. "I've got no choice. I'll have to use force," Usopp said, grabbing Kaya by the arm and started pulling her out of the window. "Usopp, no, let me go." She struggled to break free of him. "You'll find out the truth tomorrow. For now, I've got to get you away from here. You've got to believe me." And Kaya slapped him across the face hard enough for the crowd to hear, and started storming the whole thing. "You won't get away with this time, Usopp." The whole entire village chased him down. Usopp looked the other way as the wound of the slap grew big. "It's you, It's you, Usopp. You're the dastardly villain." "Ruffian, get away from Miss Kaya." Mary pointed the gun right at Usopp. He stood. His eyes grew wide. Tears welled up. Kaya screamed out, "No!" realizing what was about to happen. And suddenly, Mary shot a gun out before she could stop him as Usopp ran. "Stop! You'll hit him!" She immediately grabbed Mary. "But Miss Kaya, he was..." "Usopp's getting away! Stop last year!" The townspeople continued chasing him out into the ocean. "Oh, my left arm," the guard said as he nursed. Wow, as blood poured out of the wounds. "Why won't anyone believe me?" "There he is, get him," Mary screamed out, leaning out of the window. "He's a violent criminal." "Violent? You're stripped of violence, Usopp." The townspeople continued chasing with brandishing weapons. And Kaya inside collapsed onto Mary's chest. "Miss Kaya, get a hold of yourself." Moments later, as the birds flew across the sky, cawing away, Usopp walked silently along the road. "Tomorrow morning, attack the village at dawn." He looked back over at the fence, looked back at the town, knowing what was about to happen. Tears completely fell down in his cheeks. "Sob!" "Hey, Captain!" one of the kids yelled out. Usopp immediately rubbed the tears out of his eyes, and he planted his hand with on his hip and waved with the other. "Hey, you guys!" Everyone stood before him. "Guys, you're alive!" He saw Luffy standing behind the children, completely dumbfounded. "Alive, dude? Yeah, I must have dozed off or something." "He took a long nap," the kid said. "Captain, we heard what's going on. We've got to hurry and warn everyone about the pirates." "Warn everyone?" And he remembered what Kaya said. "You're the one who's a dastardly violent." And he heard the townspeople as he remembered the wound he gave to the guard. "Stripped of violence or something?" Oh my god, I'm delirious." Usopp laughed out loud, looking up into the sky. "I just made it all up as usual. Got so mad at that bully. I made him alive out of Luffy was completely dumbfounded. It was like, "Huh, dude?" Solo and Nami remained quiet. One of the kids said, "What? It's a lie? Oh, shucks. I thought it was something exciting was going to happen. The captain fooled the Straw Hat guy." "Huh? What? How?" "I can't believe the captain would do that. Yeah, me neither. Or me. I don't like that butler, but I never thought the captain would lie to hurt someone, the kids said, and they all walked away. Let's go home. Yeah, it's dinner time. I wonder what we're having. Something that'll help us with our puberty. Yeah, that's a good thing. Some meat. As the children walked away, Usopp stood in silence. Luffy was completely confused about what would just happen, and Solo rubbed his head in frustration. Back at the beach, as the waves continued splashing under the moon, under the crescent moon sky. It's 'cause I'm a liar, Usopp said, sitting on the chair, looking down in shame. No, believe me. I should have known. Nami said, but the facts are still the facts. Pirates are really coming, aren't they? They're coming all right, Usopp said. But no one will believe me. They all think tomorrow will just be another peaceful day. Usopp merely clenched his fist and screamed out, so it's up to me to beat those pirates and fight them off. Then I'll have a real tall tale to tell. I may be a liar, but this time my tale will come true. Luffy and the crew watched on in shock. They can shoot me in the arm, and they can chase me with brooms, but this village is my home. I love this village. Usopp held his injured arm up as blood continued to pour out. I've got to protect my neighbors. Then he immediately covered his face in tears. There's not much time to plan, but I refuse to let everyone get murdered. And the crew remained silent until Solo spoke. You've got a noble heart. That is true. You sent your crew away so you could face the danger alone. I got it. Luffy began stretching his arm. Well then, dude, we're going to help you, and we're going to beat them pirates. Ah, now I'm telling you now. The treasure's all mine, Nami said with the okay sign. Huh? Usopp lifted his head up, wiping the tears off his face. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, chapter 27. Man, that was a great 3 chapters there. Really show why lying is a bad thing. Very interesting. I mean, I try to be careful not to compare the manga with the live action, because I saw the entire live action. But wow, this was way too different for me to ignore. Because in the live action, there was only three members that we saw. We didn't see a whole pirate crew, but it turned out that there was a whole pirate crew, and I completely understand one of the reasons why. I get it why they didn't bring in Django, because he definitely is Michael Jackson. Eiichiro Oda definitely drew Michael Jackson. I can understand. I mean, Michael Jackson is long dead. The controversy and all that baggage he got with him went to his grave, and yeah, this would have been completely inappropriate, especially if they had included the children in the live action. Yeah, that would have been way off base to see that. But this was when was this? This was back in the late 1990s, right? This happened. Shoot, how did I forget this? Let me just double check here. Because holy mackerel, yeah, 1997. I was right, late 90s, 1997. So shame on me for not knowing that. So yeah, Michael Jackson was very much alive in 1997, and he was very much embroiled in his controversies at that time. So and Michael Jackson was still very popular in 1997. So yeah. I totally understand live action dropping that whole angle. I mean, they could, yeah. But funny enough, he just hypnotizes himself to sleep. Oh my gosh! So it'll be interesting to see how Django will fight when that happens. But yeah, it is so different, so different. Yeah, the artwork is still consistent and still nice overall. Um, Another thing that was very surprising to me was um, the change of the townspeople. Like they really, really, oh my gosh, right here, like his lies went too far, and wow, they got violent, real violent. It wasn't and that's insane. But honestly, this was a good setup. This was a very good setup. Although I find it very silly that this happened. The sleep thing was pretty cool. That was definitely in the live action. Only it was sleeping pills rather than hypnotism. So it was that was pretty consistent. That was one thing that carried over into the live action was Luffy getting knocked down and falling asleep. But I would say this was good because it shows the consequences of Usopp way better than of Usopp's lying compared to the live action. Live action, it was very paint by numbers, but the townspeople didn't go crazy. But I like that the townspeople went crazy in this one. Like that really is a big difference. And most importantly, it shows why lying is a bad thing. Like really, really bad thing. Interesting. I find it interesting that there was no pirate crew in the live action. This is pretty cool. They all got cat hats, just like in the live action. That's pretty cool. Uh, so many fundamental changes between the live action and the manga. I think the manga one is a lot better for the Usopp arc, with regards to Usopp's arc by comparison, because the townspeople really did have were fed up, and instead of just pushing him away and saying I don't believe you, here they're like you crossed the line, and it escalated real fast when they made it over to Kaya's estate, which was very, very intense. Like, really intense here. Let's see here. Yeah, when he started, this whole thing just, wow. When it's a full on escalation, the town chasing him, uh, Cloudor called it. They weren't going to believe him. And then we also have a gunshot, which, you know, didn't happen in the live action. But, yeah. I Dang, I was expecting to see what's her name from Clahador's team in the live action, but she's not in it. Yeah, none of those characters. I guess they were new characters or something that Clahador had beside him. But most definitely, in terms of Clahador and the actor they got, that's pretty cool. But man, man, they still followed the plot points accordingly. This is very, very, very well smooth storytelling. How it all fell into place nicely, neat and nicely, with the consequences, and it shows. Um, I don't think we needed the kids, but I understand because it's a shonen. Kids are reading it, so you know what I'm saying. Kids are primarily reading this for the most part, despite the blood, despite the blood. Despite the blood, kids can handle blood. um, yeah, and we got the setup for the big fight. So, hot dang, man, hot dang. This was very well written, very well executed. From this angle. Um, Ooh, man, I cannot wait for the to do the next set. To do the next set. Uh, OK symbol. It's the OK symbol. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Controversy. Twitter, 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 Twitter. So, yeah, we're gonna have a four-man fight against a whole pirate crew, a very, very big pirate crew. and that's gonna be exciting next time. So thank you all for joining. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow. You know you'll want to, and you can also head on over to my Patreon if you want to participate. If you wish to participate in all things Let's Read Manga, everything's all up there for your fun. All right. So thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night, buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.